Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we are going to talk about Hueso, the festive warrior that is coming soon. And this festive is very unique because it is going to be obtained in a little different way than we are used to. Apparently, this is the way that dragons in the past, many years ago, had been released, which is by shards instead of evolution stones. So we're going to talk in a bit more detail about that, but let's first take a quick look at the spell details. So Hueso's first spell is a passive spell, which is called Playfulness, where the dragon does not require food to attack, which is a very interesting little unique bonus. I wish it also wouldn't have a like a refresh time, because that would be pretty cool. But hey, you can save on some food, and if you're out of food, you can still fly Hueso. In addition to that, he will also have 60% increased rage regeneration, so you'll gain rage a little quicker and be able to use your spells a little faster, but he does not have a spell to instantly grant rage, so that's something to keep in mind. The next spell is Summon Papa, which is a white active 2 rage spell to summon a dragon in front that absorbs incoming damage and super shots. And the HP will be 60% of the dragon's HP, and the attack power is 5% of the dragon's HP, which is actually quite a lot of attack power. But 60% of the dragon's HP is not a whole lot as far as summons go, but it is nice that it does block super shots. The next spell is Quake, an active white 1 rage spell that stuns all towers in a radius for 6 seconds. And it will have a 3-second cooldown. So this will be your main defense against like mage drains and long range howitzer shots, or to lock down certain towers like an ice flak that you need a little bit of a break from so you don't get disabled again quickly. The next spell is Super Rejuvenate, which is a blue active 1 rage spell that heals a dragon for 30% HP over 2 seconds, which is a fairly good chunk of healing. So every 2 seconds, and it looks like it has no cooldown. So if you have the rage, every 2 seconds you can heal 30% HP, and if you have the rage, you can summon Papa for 2 rage and add basically a 6% shield if you're using Papa as a meat shield. Now, this is the preferable way to boost your health because you also get the attack bonus from Summon Papa, and it'll block the super shots for you, which is very nice of Hueso. So I think Hueso, unfortunately, warriors in general aren't typically as viable, but this dragon is not the worst warrior that we've had. His damage potential is actually more than the average warrior because Summon Papa does deal a lot of damage. Now, keep in mind, your majority of the damage you're going to deal is with Summon Papa active. So if you get mage drained and you don't have Summon Papa available, then you will be losing out on a lot of damage potential. But with Quake to stunned towers and only costing 1 rage and a 3-second cooldown, you should have a lot of means to disable towers. And wow, that's a 6-second freeze. That's a long stun. That is a very long stun. And only a 3-second cooldown. So basically you can target 1 region of towers first, and it might only stun 2 to 3 towers depending on where you hit. But then you can cast it a second time on another clump of towers before the first group of towers are active again. So that's a very interesting thing to keep in mind and consider when you're playing Hueso. You don't want to cast the stun at the same towers right away because then you'll be wasting that spell. Let's move on to the very interesting part of this festive, the new way to obtain and level festives. Instead of obtaining evolution stones, you will be obtaining shards for Hueso in the branch. So every location that an evolution stone would previously have existed will now be shards enough to evolve the dragon to that particular respective tier. So this branch will only go up to obsidian tier, and once you complete the whole branch, you'll have earned enough shards to evolve the dragon up to obsidian tier. It will only be a 3-key branch and only cost 18,000 sigils, so it is a shorter branch. Now, because the branch only goes to obsidian, if you want to complete the whole dragon up to the current max tier, you will have to obtain the remaining needed shards from the draconic chests. And these draconic chests will have a lot of other rewards that drop from it, including Hueso shards. During this season, the Hueso shards will have an increased drop rate, but after this season, it will be a standard rate. And then the next festive that comes out will have an increased drop rate from these chests. But you will be able to continue to earn Hueso shards in the next season so that you can continue to evolve it to the new maxed tiers. So what are the ways that you can get these chests? Well, at the end of this short Hueso branch, there will be a repeatable node where you can purchase more of these chests with your sigils. So it will cost 500 sigils for 4 chests, and you can get as many of them as you would like to. You can also purchase these chests for rubies. It will be 100 rubies per chest, or if you buy them in a set of 10, it will be 8,000 rubies. So you can earn these shards from the end of the Hueso branch for this season, or if you want to purchase them later on or at any time, you can spend rubies on it to earn the shards as well as a lot of the other prizes, which we'll take a closer look at shortly. And these chests will be available as soon as this Wednesday, so they are coming out very soon. Now let's take a closer look at the prizes in these chests. So you can get a variety of rewards from this chest that will be useful not only in breeding events, but PvP events as well as fortification, because there's lots of timers. So some of the things are breeding tokens, 3-hour, 12-hour timers. Oh, you can even get SoulDance sigils. That is good to see. I didn't notice that at first glance. And then EXP potions and Hueso fragments. And then in the more rare tiers, you can get inner fires and energy packs. And if you look down in the mythic drop section, it looks like 300 inner fires or 300 energy packs for one pull of the mythic. So that's a lot of inner fires and energy packs. Even the legendary gives 60 each, which is a very large chunk of resources. But keep in mind, it is a fairly expensive chest. And the sigil drops do not appear to be very high. So that is definitely something else to keep in mind. But it might be just a little bit on the top to make you feel like you're getting some additional progression on other lines throughout the season if you are purchasing these with rubies. The other thing to note is mythic fragments as well. Those are some large sums of mythic fragments that you can get. Even just the legendary drop is, I think that's a 50 of mythic fragments, and mythic fragments are very useful. And if you have extra rubies to spend, or you just really like to collect the dragons that are in the festives in the future, that would be a nice added benefit from opening these chests if that's where you choose to invest your rubies. But as a whole, investing in these chests with your rubies is not something I would recommend at this point. I will make an updated video reviewing the value of these chests as far as spending rubies. But if you do like Hueso, or you like how he looks when people start sharing videos, the dragon can be obtained with the line, and you can purchase these chests with sigils from this season. So at the end of the Hueso branch, you can spend as many sigils as you have on these chests, which is also an interesting way of getting some additional resources like the Inner Fires, energy packs, mythic fragments, and timers, and all of those other goodies that will come along with it. Now, something I did forget to mention, it sounds like what they said on stream, this branch will be a 20% boosted reward branch for the first 2 weeks of its release. So that might convince some people to, go this route. But other than that, a quick summary of this branch is the Festive branch will be 18,000 sigils. It will have 20% boosted rewards except for the shards. Instead of evolution stones, there will be shards in its place, which by the end of this shortened branch, you'll have all the shards that you need to reach Obsidian tier. If you want to go beyond that to the current maxed Verdant tier, you can purchase these new chests at the end of the branch by spending additional sigils on those, or by spending rubies to open up these chests. These chests will be available even after this season ends, and currently the chests will drop an increased rate of Hueso shards, while next season they will not have as high a rate of Hueso shards, and the next Festive dragon that is released, those shards should have an increased drop during that season. So let me know what you think of this new Festive as a dragon itself and as a new style of obtaining a dragon, and put your comments or questions in the section below, and I'll do my best to address them all. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.